What's goody? It's your host Jay Rose as always, and the Indiana Pacers just won a crucial Game 3 in the NBA Finals. Let's get into it. Over 90% of the people that watch my content are not subscribed, so if you're messing with the videos, please hit that sub button and the noti bell so you'll get notified every time I upload. But let's get back to the hoops. Now that we're here, 3 games down in the NBA Finals, and Indiana is up 2-1. They're once again showing the importance of winning your home games and the importance of closing out these games that you are clearly winning. OKC losing game 1 is clearly coming back to bite them. You win game 1 or you win game 2, and game 1 you're convincingly in front for most of the game, and then it just so happens that you falter at the last moments. And though there's 2 games where you played elite basketball, completely outplayed your opponents for most of the game, and you only come out with 1 W. On top of that, you really had 2 bad Tyrese Halliburton games. Like, not even mid, bad. 2 bad Tyrese Halliburton games. So if we go, this first game they won, Tyrese did not play well. He hit the game winner, of course. And that's really, really big, of course, one of the clutchest players in the league. But when you get a game with 14 points, he had 6 assists. I know he had like 3-4 turnovers. That's not great. He took 13 shots, wasn't really aggressive, couldn't get any space off of Lou Dort to even be aggressive in game 1. So for Halley to have this game, Pascal had an alright game, 19 and 10, nothing crazy. You let everybody on this team get over 10 points. And so I just find that we don't really have to look at the other game where the Thunder won, but Halley had a bad game twice in a row. He had 17 and then he had 14. So just looking at those 2 games, it's very disappointing that you can have a star player on the other end play that poorly and only come out 1-1. And now we're in a situation where if you would have went 2-0 in those games, you'd be up 2-1. But for Oklahoma City, your back is more or less against the wall. Like, for you to comfortably be in this series, you got to win 2 in a row. And that's just a matter of the fact you got to win 1 in Indiana and you got to go back home to OKC and get 1. I'm very confident that they can get 1 going back to OKC, but the energy in Indiana looked a lot different. These weren't the 2 blowouts that we had in the first 2 games, and it wasn't like full of OKC just pretty much routing this Indiana team like that. This wasn't that. There's still a lot of parallels. There's still a lot of turnovers on Indiana's side, but there's even more turnovers on the Oklahoma City Thunder side this time around. Just really stupid turnovers that didn't really need to be had. Shea had a really, really bad shooting performance. And honestly, just watching Shea play, the one thing that his game is missing is playmaking. And I had a conversation on Twitter with an Oklahoma City Thunder fan because somebody brought up how last year in the finals, Luka's numbers looked eerily similar to Shea's, and they were calling him a ball hog. And I disagreed with that at the time because you can't get assists if nobody hits shots, right? But the way Shea plays, he could definitely be much better as a playmaker. When you look at Oklahoma City and the playmakers on their team, they don't really have a lot of that. I think they do it by committee for the most part. I wouldn't look at any one of these players and go, you're an elite playmaker. That's just my opinion. I don't think Shea is an elite playmaker. I don't think J-Dub is an elite playmaker by any means. You got guys like Cason Wallace. You got Alex Caruso, Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins. Like, none of those guys are elite playmakers. Point blank period. None of those guys are elite playmakers in terms of playmaking for your teammates. And I think that's Shea's job as the starting point guard. Like, you are a score-first point guard, but you should be able to get a guy like Chet Holmgren some easy looks. That P&R should go crazy. I don't understand why you can't at least rack up 6-7 assists per game. There is an argument saying that I don't know how Luka can be a ball hog when Derek Lively completely ate when he was there. And Shea could be doing the same thing with Chet, and that's very true. Chet Holmgren, not as fast, and I wouldn't say as athletic as Derek Lively, but he's 7'1". He's pretty fast for a guy that's 7'1". He does have the jumper and doesn't really have to do much to put the ball in the rim when you get him to the rim. So if y'all are running P&Rs against a team where, Miles Turner, big stocky, but if you can get him out of position and get Chet looks in the paint, he got a lot of looks in the paint. He didn't hit a 3 last game. All his looks came from inside. So all I'm saying is if you can get Chet running downhill with Shea, that should create some of the easiest opportunities for you guys to play make for each other. It really should. And that's just one of the biggest deficiencies with Shea's game. If you look at last game, You can see here he did not have a good shooting performance. He was positive on the night for the most part until the end, but 24 points on 20 shots, not great. He only took 6 free throws, made 5. 6 turnovers is absolutely abysmal, especially when you only have four assists. And this is honestly what I think he could work on. As an individual player, as a scorer, undeniable. But in these situations where you need to get more guys involved, like a Lou Dort who's literally streaking, he was hitting threes left and right and then didn't really get a lot of looks in the second half of the game. You need to get him into the game. You need to be able to drive and kick, and once you get into that mid-range, have eyes all over your head and know where your guys are so you can hit them in their spot. I think that's one thing that Shea could really get better at. That's what Hallie does best. Came out of this game with a triple-double, 22 points, 11 assists, 8 rebounds. He also did have like 4 turnovers, which, isn't great. But regardless of that, I just feel like those two could switch issues to have. Hallie needs to be more aggressive as a scorer, and Shea needs to be more cognizant as a playmaker for both of these guys to get just a little bit better. And for the Pacers, I think this is an amazing position for them to be in. I think I'm one of the few people who are watching the finals who really wouldn't mind if the Pacers won outside of Indiana. Like, I really, honestly, for my own selfish reasons and for Twitter discourse talk, I'm fine with Shea not winning this chip. I like Shea. I used to be a Thunder fan when I was a little kid. So, there's a part of me that wants them to win. But, you know what I'm saying? I just really wouldn't be mad at this Pacers ring. Like, it's so by committee. There's a lot of pieces that are helping out. There's a lot of guys who will randomly have a night and really just break out and help you win these games. And that's what you need in the playoffs. And they're really ticking off all the boxes in terms of that. People stepping up. We've already had Nembhard games. We've had Neesmith games. We've had Obi Toppin games. We've had Thomas Bryant games. We've had TJ McConnell games. Last night, Benedict Mathurin almost had a 30 ball. So I'm just saying, this team is doing everything right from a team standpoint. I don't think they have the star power of some other teams, but they clearly don't need it. They've beat everybody in front of them. Not all these teams have been healthy, but I'm not going to put that as an asterisk. I feel like that's just how the NBA is. Sometimes you're going to run into some injured teams on your way to the finals. Like, it is what it is, to be honest. They beat a fully healthy Knicks team, though, and I feel like that one was the most damning victory. And it kind of looks like they're on the same path here with the Thunder. If they win this next game in Indiana, it's over. And I think that's really the takeaway from this video, and what I hope the Thunder come into next game with that mindset, that if we lose this, it's probably over. I don't like how teams go down 3-1 and now they want to play with urgency. You need to play with urgency the entire time, first of all. But if you're not going to do it the entire time, when you get your peak urgency, it should be 2-1 or 3-2, not 3-1. Going down 3-1, that's a miraculous miracle comeback that happens from time to time here and there in the NBA now. Like, it's not as uncommon as it used to be, but it's still uncommon. And in the NBA Finals, it's only happened one time. So if I'm the Thunder, I'm not even going into the situation thinking about a 3-1. It's gonna have to be 2-2 after this next game. And those are really all my thoughts. To be honest, I feel like, I don't know, like, this is such a weird series to watch. I feel like the Thunder have been better than the Pacers in almost every aspect of basketball. The offense, the defense, the rebounding, everything outside of like playmaking. I feel like the Thunder have had the advantage, and they're down 2-1 here. So I just feel like this is a very interesting series. Shout out to Pacers, man. Nobody thought they would be here. I don't think people in Indiana thought they would be here for real, and before the playoffs started at the very least. And they're up 2-1 and having a real opportunity to win the Larry O'Brien this year. And I think that's kind of crazy. And I kind of want to get into some uncomfortable conversations. But that's really all I have to say about this series up to Game 3. If you like this video, like the video. If you did not, make sure you subscribe, because I know you'll like the next one, and I'll catch you in the next one.